Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about CO2 transportation in our body. And for those of you who are new to my channel, who are first time here, my name is Sergey. I am a freediving instructor trainer, and here on this channel I'm sharing with all of you guys everything what I know about freediving, right? So if you're a beginner or intermediate freediver, consider the idea to subscribe to my channel, because here you're going to find a lot of useful information which is going to make you a better and safer freediver. Okay, CO2 transportation and why it is important for freedivers. Why it is important for freedivers to know about how exactly CO2 transportation happens in our body is going to be discussed later at the video, so make sure that you keep watching until the end, then you will realize why this information is important. So first of all, why we produce CO2. In our cells, when we have a cellular respiration, when we produce energy aerobically, we're going to use the oxygen, and as a byproduct we're going to produce carbon dioxide. So when we produce carbon dioxide, of course somehow we need to remove it. So the carbon dioxide diffuse into our blood, and then it's moved into the alveoli in our lungs, and then we exhale this CO2. This happens when you're not holding your breath. So let's talk about how exactly our blood transport this CO2. So there is three main ways. If you watched my video about oxygen transportation, you probably remember that for the oxygen it's only two ways. If you haven't watched this video, you can find the link in the description. So with the oxygen, the main way how you transport it is a connection connected with the hemoglobin, and really small amount is dissolved into the plasma. With the carbon dioxide, a little bit different story. Okay, the smallest part again is going to be dissolved into the plasma. But if you remember about oxygen, it's only about 1.5%, and here it's about 10%. So 10% of this carbon dioxide, which is diffused into our blood, is going to be directly dissolved into the blood, right? So it is the smallest amount. Then you can say the minimum amount, about 20%, is going to be diffused into the blood, and then it's going to be diffused inside the red blood cells, and then it's going to be connected with a hemoglobin. So 20% of the carbon dioxide is going to be transporting in our body in a connection with the hemoglobin, right? It's only about 20%. So 10% here, 20% here, in total about 30%, and then majority of the carbon dioxide is going to be connected inside the blood with the water, so CO2 plus water, and then it's going to be a form of bicarbonate ion and hydrogen ion. So this reaction can happen two ways. First way, it can happen directly inside the plasma, but it is a slow and not effective way. The more faster and more effective way, it is again carbon dioxide diffuse into our blood, and then it is diffused inside our red blood cells, and then inside the red blood cells this reaction happens. The hydrogen ion still gonna stay inside the red blood cells, but bicarbonate ion gonna move inside our bloodstream, and this is how the majority, about 65-70% of the carbon dioxide is going to be traveling to our lungs, where we're going to exhale some of it, right? Okay, now the most important part, why this is important. So as you remember, why freedivers talk a lot about carbon dioxide? Because you have an urge to breathe, you have contractions when your carbon dioxide level is high. And when we're talking about this carbon dioxide, it is this part, right? It is the carbon dioxide which is dissolved into our plasma. So when this number is going to increase during the breath hold, then we're going to have contractions, right? So the big questions for freedivers, how we can delay this moment. First of all, if you want to delay this moment, you want to produce less CO2 at the first place, right? You want to produce less energy, and then you're going to produce less bicarbonate as a byproduct, right? So less energy, less carbon dioxide. So the second, you want to make sure that majority of your carbon dioxide is going to be stay in this form, right? So this is what we call buffering system. So the more carbon dioxide gonna move into the form of bicarbonate ion, the better it is for us as a freedivers, right? So how we can increase it? We can increase it by increasing the amount of red blood cells and the total amount of plasma. So the more plasma volume you have and more red blood cells inside this plasma volume you have, the better for you to be tolerant to the high level of CO2. And this is why it is no secret that the high endurance athlete high level CO2 tolerance. Why? Because they have a big volume of plasma and they have a big amount of red blood cells. So this is one of the way how you can improve your CO2 tolerance. Of course, there is another way just to learn how to handle it, but it's probably going to be the topic of the next video, one of the next video. But here, okay guys, this was a video about CO2 transportation in our body and why this information is important for us as a freedivers. Hopefully you found some useful information here. If you did, don't forget to click the like button and see you next time.